Hi everybody, this is the Planet Earth here, and today I am going to be showing you the forecasted path of Hurricane Irma. Now, I have a bad feeling that Hurricane Irma is probably going to be a Category 5, just based on what I'm seeing here. So, Hurricane Irma is right now in the Eastern Atlantic, and I just have a bad feeling that this particular hurricane is going to be either hitting me in Florida, in the most southern tip of Florida, or it's going to hit South Carolina. Now, if it hits South Carolina, North Carolina, and it has a Category 5 hurricane, that is not good. So we're going to go ahead, slowly but surely, speed it up. We're going to speed it up. Slowly. Slowly. Okay, we're going to go ahead and skip some days here. So today is the 31st. It's right there in the eastern. By the closest city looks like Dakar. Alright. And then we're going to go east. Okay, so this is Hurricane Irma. Let's go ahead and zoom in right now. Alright, Hurricane Irma has about 67 mile an hour wind. There's probably areas where it's windier. Let's just see. 70 mile an hour wind. Alright. Now let's go ahead and do the future here. Let's go to about 800 HPA. Alright. So alright, we're at 100 mile an hour winds. Now we're gonna go the next day. Okay, now the winds look like they're increasing as it moves towards the east. And it looks like the winds are going to kind of push it. This high might even push it into freaking Florida. I'm worried about that because I live right here. And I'm worried that it might push it right into Florida at the current rate. You see how the wind vines are going? Like, low, 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 low. And so this thing is being pushed east. If this high remains here, which I don't think it will, we should be okay. But I think, and in my honest opinion, I do think it may go to South Carolina, North Carolina. If we're lucky, this won't hit the country at all, but I think it's going to be a Category 5, and it's going to be devastating. It's going to be the most devastating hurricane to ever hit the United States, especially with the winds I'm seeing with the future cast. Okay, now we are at the 2nd of September, and now that we're at the 2nd of September, it's getting a little bit closer. Not quite to the Caribbean islands or anything like that, but it's getting closer. Alright, so now the 3rd, and it moved south. It looks like it moved south towards the Caribbean islands. And then, on the 4th, it's still moving towards those Caribbean islands. On the 5th, it starts creeping back up now. Now, I'm thinking, like I said, South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe Virginia. But, I mean, it is going to be a nasty hurricane. Look, 161 mile per hour winds, sustained. Remember, this is an estimate only. It may not be as intense, but, I mean, with all the warm water, I don't know, man. And the 6th, you can definitely see an eye wall there. You definitely see an eye wall there. Look, see the eye wall? So it's still there, and it is really bad. Look. According to what I am seeing here, I am seeing some winds hitting. Let's get a little closer to this thing. 160 mile per hour wind. That is incredible. 169 mile an hour winds. And these are not gusts. So let's see what the gusts would look like. Okay, here we go. Let's see what the gusts are saying if it doesn't do anything. Okay, it's not really showing any gusts, but it's still really strong. Yeah, it's still really bad and strong. Let's go back to the wind speed. We'll do 800 HPA. Okay, we're getting 160 mile an hour winds with this storm. Supposedly, it's this is scary. All right, so you can definitely tell it's a hurricane. And on the 7th, it starts moving north, and then it looks like the high broke down, which is causing like an easterly breeze towards Florida, but it could get caught here. And if we're lucky, it will barely miss the Carolinas and go northeast out of here. But I mean, it's still heading though. And on the 8th, now there's a really strong, like easterly breeze, as you can see with the models. It looks like there's a strong breeze with this Category 5 hurricane. Look at this. 178 mile an hour wind estimates with this storm. That is scary. It's going to be a gigantic hurricane. And then let's see if we can go one more day and see where it's at. So hopefully what I am seeing here, and I'm hoping that this storm is pushed out into sea, but it looks like the Bermuda High is not really, I don't know how to say it, but the Bermuda High isn't really, it's really weak. So according to this, it looks like this massive hurricane is going to drop down. Oh no, it's still going to be a Category 5, and it's going to go up. It could hit Maryland. It could hit New York. It could hit. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Man, it could hit Savannah, Charleston. It could hit North Carolina. It could hit Wilmington, North Carolina. It could hit Virginia Beach, Richmond. It could hit Washington even, Philadelphia. I would say all the way up to New York. But there is a remote possibility of this hurricane still coming. But it doesn't look like it's going to want to come in this area. That's if it takes the northern track. But if it takes the southern track, obviously I'm going to be fucked. But if it does take that northern track, I bet you by tomorrow it'll show where it's going to be at. And I guarantee you, I bet you it'll be anywhere between New York and northern Florida. And this is going to be a real nasty hurricane based on what I'm personally seeing here. Now, remember that some of the sustained winds possibly in this hurricane could be as high as 178 mile per hour winds. 178 sustained mile per hour winds. Whoever this hurricane hits, anywhere between here and Key West, Florida, all the way down to Cuba, I feel bad for anybody that lives from here to New York City. I don't know what's going to happen then. I can only speculate, but based on what I'm seeing is, it's not exactly pushing the hurricane straight north. And it's exactly pushing the hurricane like a south, and this is kind of pushing it northwest. But I don't see it pushing it that way. I don't see it pushing it that way, and I don't see it being sucked there. But hopefully tomorrow one says it's out here and not over here or over here. Because as the days get closer, this model gets more accurate. So this is not good, and this is actually pretty scary, to be honest. So let's see how the air, the temperature is going to affect the storm. All right, so it looks like the temperatures are 60s. All right, let's go back to today's. Okay, so 47 degrees, 48, 50, 50. That's not really hurricane. This isn't really hurricane temperature territory right now. I don't think that's right, is it? No, that's the air. Is it the air temperature? Oh. Okay, here we go. Okay, so 2 meters above ground, which is 6 feet. Let's see how warm these temperatures are going to be. Alright, so it's going to have very decent, favorable development as we head east. Look, it actually gets warmer. It kind of gets warmer. Now, up here, it might die a little bit with 70-degree temperatures, but it doesn't really need the hottest of the hot water to really get it going. Water temperature. Do they have water temperature? Precipitation clouds, wind speed, wind gust, thunderstorms, snow cover, freezing level. No, they do not. But the temperature is going to be pretty insane. Yeah, no, that's just, yeah. Obviously, the temperature is going to be really hot over here. Okay, so it's definitely favorable for a large hurricane. As it gets east, it's going to warm, warm, warm. Let's see how in full 5 days from now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's see how the fifth is playing. All right, so the fifth says water temperature should be in the 80s and the 70s. Mainly the 80s though, for most of its trip. Right at the coast, it's estimated to be in the 79-80 degree temperature. So what that tells me is it's gonna be a lot cooler like this though. Up above, it should be warm enough to develop a storm. It's gonna get real cold now. Oh, that's not bad. Jesus Christ. Okay, how cold is it now? Oh, yeah, we're not going that high, damn it. We're not gonna go that high. Alright. So, yeah, it's definitely favorable for development. 500 meters sounds like a decent. No, yeah, no, it's definitely warm enough to create a massive hurricane. Alright, so surface temperature 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. Yeah, this is definitely favorable for hurricane development and high wind. Let's see how the air pressure is. 29, 29, 29, and 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 31. That's high pressure, low pressure. So, looks like it's pretty stable, 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 unstable, unstable. Alright, so what it's saying is this is very favorable for it to come all the way over here. Now, let's see on the 9th. It says it's going to be over here. So, let's see what happens.